Good morning. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News, coming to you from our digital desk. We've got to get to some breaking news before we get to our first alert weather day. It is another scorcher. That goes without saying if you've been outside. The first breaking news we need to get to is there are thousands of people without power in the Cleveland area. We're talking about CPP customers, Cleveland Public Power customers. They had a fire at, let me make sure I get this right, they had a battery at the Cleveland Public Power's Lake Road substation overheat, and that caused a fire. That was at about 3:56 this morning. You can give the heat part of the blame for that. People obviously cranking up their air conditionings. The problem with that is they've had to shut down several of their large lines while they repair it. They had to de-energize the substation. So there are several buildings downtown right now that do not have power. The estimated time is 10 o'clock, and that's an early optimistic estimate. Here are some of the buildings without power. So if you have business at these buildings, you are going to head to them. You may want to wait. You may want to give them a call. We're talking about police headquarters, the public auditorium, Lexington Village, manufacturing on Marquette, Case Western East Boulevard Garage, the Glenville Plaza, in Kirtland neighborhood. We've got the Cleveland Thermal, Gillespie East, and the Convention Center. That is just to name a few. And it's going to be a while before that power gets back up. With that in mind, let's bring in 19 First Alert meteorologist Kelly Doback. Kelly, this is brutal to have anybody without power, whether they have air conditioning, whether they have fans, whether they're trying to keep their water cool. This is a bad situation yet again today.
Yeah, my heart just hurts for any people or businesses who are dealing again with the outages. I know they canceled a lot of summer camps too because of the power outages. So we are in the hottest stretch of weather we've had so far this year. Yesterday we tied records. Today we're going to be close to it again. So that's the first component. We are still dealing with the brutal heat. We've got one more day of. We're not getting rid of the humidity, but one more day of temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, feeling like the triple digits. Now the difference with today versus yesterday is we're in this big bubble of heat. We've been talking about this heat dome, right? Well, there's a storm system that's going to try to burst our bubble, so to say, after dinner time today, and that will bring the threat of a strong storm or two. It's not going to be, a widespread severe weather outbreak, but you've been outside, you feel how muggy it is. One of those key thunderstorm ingredients. It does not take much for a storm to trigger, to fire up in an environment like this. So not only do we have to deal with the heat again this afternoon, but we've also got that threat of strong to severe storms as we head into really after dinner time. So the first thing I want to do hour by hour here is walk you through the storm threat, and then I'll show you what it's going to feel like this afternoon, because we've got, yesterday we had those rolling power outages. Today we have the power outages across the city of Cleveland. We could see some more isolated power outages with any storm that produces gusty winds and heavy rain late this afternoon and evening. So if you do have a generator, make sure everything's working. Charge up everything, because it is just, we're seeing it firsthand how rough it is to not have power when we're dealing with heat like this. So this is 2 o'clock this afternoon. You see the timestamp right up here in the top left corner of your screen here. By 5 o'clock, isolated shower or two, and then notice after dinner time, we're seeing a couple pop-up showers and rumbles of thunder. Anywhere you see the oranges and reds indicate, yeah, that could be a storm. But really anywhere we see one of these little showers or storms fire up, it's got the potential to become strong, because it can tap into all that energy, tap into all that moisture that's out there right now, and that could bring the potential, for heavy downpours and gusty winds through about midnight. Now we see the storm threat let up through the early morning hours tomorrow. Wake up temperatures will be in the 70s, and then we have another threat for strong storms tomorrow afternoon. Notice the temperature though, 3 o'clock tomorrow. We will still see temperatures near 90, but we won't be in the 90s, so we'll get a little bit of relief. It's definitely definitely still going to be muggy and warm, but there's kind of two folds to today's warning. Today's alert day. We've got the storm threat this evening, and then this afternoon, you can see the heat index here. We're climbing near those feels like temperatures near 100. And again, feels like heat index, it's not a made up number, based on the temperature outside, and we're like, it's going to feel like this. No, it's a mathematical equation based on how quickly your body sweats when it is that humid outside. Humidity is the measure of the moisture in the air. So, that's why we talk about taking it so seriously, and that's why it's so tough seeing, all these power outages that we're dealing with today and yesterday, with it being, near record high temperatures again.
And Kelly, it has been rough, and we're going to keep an eye on those temperatures. We're going to take a quick 15-second break, and then we'll talk about the rest of the week ahead.
I've represented families just like yours for over 4 decades. Listen, if you need me, call me. I'll be there for you, and I'll make them pay. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye out for you.
All righty, Kelly, first alert weather days both today and tomorrow. That's why Tuesday and Wednesday are in red. That's when you're going to want to pay attention. Walk us through it.
Yeah, so again, today twofold. We've got the heat this afternoon, feels like temperatures pushing near the triple digits, and then the storm threat really going to be after dinner time. So think about that when it comes to planning, charging up things just in case you do get a storm. Tomorrow, once again, as we head into the afternoon and evening, peak heating times of the day, we don't get rid of that mugginess, that humidity, the thick air, which can help trigger storms. So once again, biggest concern with any storm that fires up the next 2 days is going to be damaging wind gusts and heavy rain, just because we've got that storm energy out there. Now we're getting into that very summer-like pattern through the rest of the week. We're back in the 80s, not near 90, but just shy of it Friday. But with it being this humid, you can't rule out a storm firing up every day. The reason we didn't see any storms yesterday and today is because this big bubble of heat has been blocking any storm systems from pushing through. Once we get the first one coming through, that's going to happen later this evening. It's going to be a cold front. It's going to weaken, obviously, because it's not cooling things down too much, but that's going to be kind of the mechanism, what we would say in meteorology, that'll bring that opportunity for that more summer-like pattern. Each day could trigger a storm or two. Jeff says it a lot. We're going to get into this pattern where if you sneeze, a storm could pop up Thursday, Friday, even into Saturday, but we hold on to the humidity and temperatures in the mid-80s through early next week.
Kelly Doback, 19 First Alert meteorologist. Thank you for keeping us informed. A couple of rough days here. We're going to get through it. It is Northeast Ohio. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Dan.
All right. Do want to give an update on the Cleveland Public Power situation. Here's a live look at their website. This is not a map that you want to see look like a Christmas tree on a day that's 90 degrees. All of those red lines, those mark really the major lines, what are called the feeder lines, that are down because of this morning's early morning fire. You can see it's mainly affecting the east side, but it is impacting several businesses downtown. You can see there's the Burke Lakefront Airport, but then just about everything after that, and those numbers that you see, 500 plus, that is saying 500 plus customers without power in that region. You can see this stretches into a little bit of Playhouse Square, and then down by the Science Center, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and a large portion of downtown, and then it stretches out to the east side into Ward 7. You can see the neighborhoods here leading just up to Little Italy. You've got Carnegie Avenue. This is not good news. Ward 5 with quite a few, we'll say hundreds of outages there, stretching into Ward 4, into the Buckeye neighborhood. So this is potentially going to be a rough day. Again, the early estimate from Cleveland Public Power is that it could be 10 o'clock this morning. That's 2 minutes away. I don't know for sure, but I don't think that this map is suddenly going to go clear in 2 minutes after having a fire. Again, it was about 4 this morning that there was a battery that overheated at a major substation. So they had to de-energize the substation so that they could get in there and work. And it's going to be a long day of repairs. We're going to keep our eye on it because of how serious this is. If you know people who live in those areas that are impacted that we showed stretching into the east side, give them a call. If you have power, invite them over. If you have air conditioning, get them over. Find a splash pad. Hopefully the splash pad has power, because you got to have power to run that water through there. So could be a situation that we're going to keep an eye on all day. Make sure you watch our 11 o'clock news on Cleveland's 43, then our noon news on Channel 19. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a good afternoon.